Hi folks, I'm Mike from Minnesota. Welcome to my channel. This episode, like all my other ones, or most of my other ones, are coming to you from Studio 1A up in northern Minnesota on the Leech Lake Indian Reservation and at the doorstep of the Chippewa National Forest, God's country. This episode is going to be canned dill pickles. I do have another episode on dill pickles in my on my channel, and that's how to do fermented pickles. But this is canned pickles, and this goes back to when I started doing dill pickles back in the 80s. This recipe that I have here is going to be in the information part of this video. And what I'm going to be doing is typically when I used to do dill pickles, I would go and, well, originally I'd go to the Mung Fields in Rosemont, and they allow me to pick my own pickles and dill and some hot red Thai peppers. But it's a different time now. And what I did is, you'll see, I took a photo. I did a trellis, and I planted pickling dill pickles. So it's pickling cucumbers, I'm sorry, and there's a difference between pickling cucumbers and slicing cucumbers. And so I did that, and with that trellis, it seemed like I would get enough cucumbers to do 1 quart of pickles. And if you just let it go, they all get just too big. So I developed a method for doing this where I can do 1 quart at a time. And what I do, and I'll show you how I do it. Well, this is the traditional way to do it. When you do a great big batch of pickles, you go to the farmer's market or another garden or farm and get cucumbers, pickling cukes. You would do a big batch, and you would do a hot water bath, and like 6 quarts at a time. So you get just all the jars packed and put the brine in and go from there. I'm going to show you how I do, I think I'm going to get actually 2 quarts out of this from what I picked. My cucumbers, various sizes. If they're a little too big, I'll slice them. And I got to tell you right now, the excellent resource for this is the University of Minnesota Extension's website. They give you instructions on how to do canned dill pickles, fermented dill pickles, recipes for that, and many other things. And I use their information for safety in doing my pickles. I use their recipe for my fermented pickles, and the hot water bath temperature and time period. I use that information for that. So I've got my my pickles, my dill, which I grew this year also, and some garlic to put in there. I've got I bought serrano peppers. These are really hot babies. I'll use a piece of these in the quart jars. And I also, in my recipe, I use grape leaves. Now, in each jar also goes 1/8 of a teaspoon of alum. Now, you can skip the grape leaves. If you don't like it real hot or hot at all, you can skip the peppers, you can skip the garlic, but what you absolutely need is the brine, and the jars with the alum, and the cukes and the dill. I mean, you can skip this other stuff if you want. I love it in there. It makes pickles really, really good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 quart of vinegar to 4 quarts of water, a cup of canning salt in this container over here, and bring that to a really hot temperature, not just below boiling. And while I got that going, I'm going to put water in here. This is what I use for single jars. it turned out that this is an asparagus cooker. It has a basket and a top. I removed those, but it's perfect size for putting a 1 quart in there, covering it with water, and bringing it up to temperature for the water bath, for the hot water bath. I try to get my temperature around 190, just below boiling. And then over here, these jars, they say sterilize the jars. I do my jars in the dishwasher, so they're clean. That's all I've ever needed to do. And what I'll do is I'll pack, I believe, 2 jars. You know, if I can't do it, I'll just do 1 jar. And then the lids, they go in some water in here. I fill this half full, and I put the lids in there, hot water to get the lids hot. And when I put the water in this particular container to do the water bath, if I need more water, I'll use it from this. So I'm going to get this going, and then I'll show you what it looks like after it's all put together. I have the brine heating up, 2 lids in the water heating up. I was able to pack 2 jars, and I just wanted to mention some tools that really make this easier. This is a magnetic stick, and it's used for picking up the lids out of the hot water, so you don't get your hands, and it doesn't scratch. So you use the top on the top of the lid. This is a pickling funnel for adding the fluid. You want to get it up 1/2 inch below the top there, just at this ring right here, and the scoop for that. Non-metallic. This is a very important thing right here. This is for lifting the jar or putting the jar into the water bath and taking them out of the water bath. And then I place them on a towel, wipe the top, and let them cool down and then until they pop. The 2 extra jars, what I do is I will fill those with hot brine, and then I'll let it cool. You can't put the covers on them right away, because if you do, there's a good chance that they will seal. You don't want them to seal. What I do is let this cool down, fill them up, let them cool down, put the tops on. I put them in the refrigerator, and next time I want to do like 1 jar, I'll take it out and I'll add it to a smaller pan, heat that up, and go through the process with 1 jar. I already have the mixture, the proper mixture, and so far it's been working pretty good. So I mean, I think it's safe to do, because the brine is well, now it's getting up to temperature, but when I do it again, I put it back in there and get that up to temperature, and I also do the hot water bath. So I will come back in a little bit and show you, I guess, what I'm going to be doing. All right, I'm going to show you the next process in this. I wanted to mention a couple things. I learned this from a Hmong gentleman when I was picking cucumbers and dill in the fields, is that you leave some of the stalk on the dill head, because that adds a lot of dill flavor to the jar. This same recipe can be used for dilly beans or dill beans. In fact, I mentioned that I won blue ribbons on the pickles, but with the beans, I won a champion reserve ribbon at the Dakota County Fair with those dill beans, and they actually had it in a showcase at the beginning of the food building there. So here we go. This brine is really hot. Why don't you come over here? I got my camera assistant, unnamed, Debbie. And I'm going to fill this up. Folks, take your time. I mean, because this stuff is hot. You don't want to burn yourself. And what I'm going to do is leave this turned off. It's right at the top there because it's right at the top. I'm going to grab my lid. That is nice to do. Put it over here and dry it off. You want that rubber dry. It's still warm. What you want to really do too is wipe off the top, put your lid on, put the ring on, finger tight, just like that, finger tight. Now, you definitely need these. Tight there. Now I put, fortunately, that's the proper amount of water in there. It's just over the top. I'm going to bring this up a little higher. I like to temp it, see where I'm at. And like I said, I like to get it like around 190, but it is pretty hot right now. So what I'm going to do is start the timer. 20 minutes. You need it 20 minutes in a hot water bath, and we'll come back after that. All right, we're ready for the next step. This has been in here for 20 minutes, and I got that temperature up. Actually, it was boiling for a while. I brought it down. I kind of keep temping it. I gotta keep this careful here. Bring it over here. I like to wipe off the top. And that's going to sit and cool. And I'm going to bring the brine up to temperature. I've got the lids coming up, and I'm going to do the same thing with this quart, the hot water bath for 20 minutes. And that's going to be it. I'm going to then fill up those jars, let it cool down a little bit, cap them, put them in the fridge for the next time might want to do 1 or 2 quarts of pickles. You may have noticed on the stove a little pan in the back there. That's Rhodes pizza dough, raising for tonight's dinner, a pizza. You can check out my video on Easy Peasy Saturday Night Pizza. Tonight we're not doing a red sauce. We're doing a pizza with tomato or basil pesto base, which I use the basil from the garden to do the pesto. And it's going to be chicken, artichoke, cherry tomato, fontina cheese, and I think that's it for that pizza. So we're going to try that and see what it tastes like. That's pretty foodie, isn't it? So until next time, folks, thank you for joining my channel. Subscribe if you want, and make every day a great day, and God bless.